The afternoon sun cast long shadows across the steps of the downtown courthouse as Marcus Rivera sat beside his 10-year-old daughter Sophia, sharing what had become their daily ritual, lunch on the courthouse steps, while waiting for her mother to finish her community service hours. At 35, Marcus worked 2 jobs to make ends meet as a single father, but he never missed these midday moments with Sophia, even when it meant eating a simple sandwich instead of a proper meal. Sophia picked at her half of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, her usual cheerful demeanor replaced by the quiet sadness that had settled over her since her parents' divorce 6 months earlier. Marcus noticed a young girl, perhaps 8 years old, sitting alone a few steps away, watching them eat with the careful attention of someone who was genuinely hungry. The girl was well dressed in clean clothes that suggested a comfortable family, but there was something about her posture, the way she sat with her shoulders hunched and her head down, that spoke of a different kind of emptiness. Marcus recognized that look from his own childhood, when food was scarce and adult problems cast shadows over simple pleasures like lunch with friends. "Sophia, do you see that little girl over there?" Marcus asked quietly, nodding toward the solitary figure. "She looks like she might be having a tough day." Sophia followed her father's gaze and immediately understood. One of the things Marcus was most proud of was how naturally empathetic his daughter had become. Perhaps because their own struggles had taught her to recognize when others were hurting. "Should we ask if she wants to share our lunch, Daddy?" Sophia suggested, already starting to wrap up her remaining sandwich portion. Marcus smiled at his daughter's generous instincts. "I think that is a wonderful idea, sweetheart." They approached the girl slowly, not wanting to startle her. Up close, Marcus could see that she had been crying, though she had tried to wipe away the evidence. Her brown hair was neatly brushed, and her clothes were clearly expensive, but her eyes held the particular sadness that comes from feeling alone in a crowd. "Hi there," Marcus said gently, sitting down beside her. "My name is Marcus, and this is my daughter Sophia. We were wondering if you might like to share our lunch with us." The girl looked up with surprise, as if she was not accustomed to strangers approaching her with kindness. "I am not supposed to talk to people I do not know," she said carefully, but her voice lacked conviction. "That is very smart," Marcus replied. "Your parents taught you well about being careful, but sometimes it is okay to accept help when you need it, especially when there are other people around to keep everyone safe." He gestured to the busy courthouse steps where dozens of people were coming and going, providing a natural safety net for their interaction. The girl considered this for a moment, then said quietly, "My name is Emma, and I am not really hungry. For food, I am just sad." Sophia immediately scooted closer to Emma, recognizing a kindred spirit. "I get sad sometimes too. My daddy says that sharing food with people can help make sadness feel a little smaller." Marcus unwrapped his remaining sandwich half and offered it to Emma. "Even if you are not hungry, sometimes it helps to have something to do with your hands while you talk about what is making you sad." Emma accepted the sandwich with the careful politeness of a child who had been taught proper manners, but was surprised to need them in this context. "My mom is always busy with work," she said softly. "She has to make a lot of important decisions and she gets stressed, and then she does not have time to eat lunch with me anymore." Marcus felt his heart tighten as he recognized the familiar ache of a child who felt displaced by adult responsibilities. "That sounds very lonely, Emma. What kind of work does your mom do?" "She runs a big company," Emma replied, taking a small bite of the sandwich. "Everyone says she is very successful, but I think success means she does not get to be my mom very much anymore." Sophia nodded with understanding. "When my parents got divorced, my dad started working extra jobs, and I was scared he would not have time for me either. But he promised me that no job is more important than being my daddy." "That is right," Marcus confirmed, looking at both girls. "Emma, I am sure your mom loves you very much. Sometimes adults get so focused on taking care of the big things that they forget to take care of the most important things." What Marcus did not realize was that Emma's mother, Victoria Chen, CEO of Chen Industries, was standing 30 feet, away, having just finished a business call. She had arrived to pick up Emma from her after-school program at the courthouse's community center, only to find her daughter missing from the supervised area. Victoria had been searching for Emma with growing panic when she spotted her sitting on the courthouse steps with two strangers. Her first instinct was protective alarm, but as she moved closer, she overheard the conversation that was taking place. "My daddy says that the best part of his day is when we eat lunch together," Sophia was telling Emma. "Even when he is really tired from work, he still makes time for our sandwich breaks." "I wish my mom could do that," Emma replied wistfully. "But she has meetings all day, and by the time she gets home, I am already supposed to be in bed." Victoria felt something twist in her chest as she heard her daughter's words. In the past 6 months, as she had thrown herself into work to cope with her own divorce, she had convinced herself that providing financial security was the most important way to take care of Emma. She had not realized that her daughter was starving for something that money could not buy. Marcus looked at Emma with the gentle understanding of a parent who recognized the signs of a child feeling emotionally neglected. "Emma, would you like me to talk to your mom about making time for lunch dates? Sometimes adults need reminders about what is really important." "You would do that?" Emma asked with surprise. "Of course," Marcus replied. "Parents need to stick together and help each other remember that our children need us to be present, not just successful." Victoria stepped forward, no longer able to remain silent. "Emma, there you are. I have been looking everywhere for you." Emma looked up with a mixture of relief and apprehension. "Mom, this is Marcus and Sophia. They shared their lunch with me because I was sad about not getting to eat with you anymore." Victoria looked at this man in simple clothes who had taken the time to comfort her daughter when she had been too busy to notice Emma was struggling. "Mr. Marcus, I am Victoria Chen. I want to thank you for taking care of Emma." Marcus stood politely, extending his hand. "Ms. Chen, Emma is a wonderful little girl. She was just telling us how much she misses having lunch with you." Victoria felt heat rise in her cheeks as she realized that a stranger had provided her daughter with the attention and care that she had been too distracted to give. "I am afraid work has been very demanding lately." "I understand," Marcus said gently. "I work 2 jobs myself, so I know how hard it can be to balance everything. But I also learned that children measure time differently than adults do. To them, 15 minutes of undivided attention can be worth more than all the success in the world." Victoria looked at her daughter, who was watching this interaction with hopeful eyes, and made a decision that would change both their lives. "Mr. Marcus, would you and Sophia like to join Emma and me for lunch tomorrow? I think I need to learn how to make sandwich breaks a priority." 6 months later, Victoria and Marcus sat in the executive dining room of Chen Industries, watching Emma and Sophia giggle over their shared lunch as they planned their latest adventure. Victoria had restructured her schedule to include daily lunch breaks with Emma, and Marcus had accepted a position as head of the company's employee wellness program. "You know," Victoria said to Marcus as they watched their daughters bond over peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, "I used to think success meant building something impressive. Now I think it means building something that matters to the people you love most." Marcus smiled, remembering the day when sharing a simple sandwich had led to discoveries about what it means to truly provide for a family. Sometimes the most important business deals are negotiated not in boardrooms, but on courthouse steps where 2 people discover that what they need most is exactly what the other has to offer.